Okay, so in this video we are going to understand the unit testing tool and why do we need to have one. So let's revise a bit what we are doing. I have one application which I am implementing, this calculator API. We are implementing one reusable library, and that we are looking at how to automate the end-to-end build life cycle of it using Maven. So in this process, we are done with the implementation of addition function, right? This addition function is implemented, and we have implemented few unit test cases as well. Like these are the unit test cases, that unit test case class, where we have defined one reference variable of our calculator API class, the function from which we want to test, right? So reference variable we have created one variable int res, and then we have created few methods, right? So this method will create the object. These are the actual test case methods. The first one is to test the addition with positive numbers, the other one is to test the addition with the two zero values, or you can add a few more test cases as well if you think those are important to get that addition function tested against, right? And this is where you will set the value to null. So we are bifurcating the different steps in our flow of testing. Now where the unit testing comes into the picture, unit testing tool comes into the picture is, I want in this unit testing, what is my requirement is I want to have a way which will compare the actual result with the expected one, and that the result of that comparison should mark my test case pass or fail, and I should get the report. So by looking at which I can understand, okay, what is the the status of the functionality at given point of time, right? So I need the way to do actual expected comparison and marking my test case pass or fail. That is one. The second is I need a way to execute these functions written, which are dealing with some kind of things here. So I want a way to run them one after the other in one flow, so that it will facilitate my unit testing. Meaning, for example, this function, what it is doing, this is creating an object of the class, the methods from which we are testing. So this we want to happen very first when we will run this class. So out of these functions, we want this to be executed first. Then this is the test case function. So our we need to consider this as a test case function and mark it as pass or fail, right, in our report. So this is what I need here now as a part of my unit testing requirement. So who provides us with these things? Like who provides us with the way where the different test case functions would be marked passed or failed based on the result of the comparison of actual and expected, and it will also manage the flow of the execution as well. So that is nothing but the unit testing tools provides us with that. Now what are the different unit testing tools out there in Java? So for Java environment we have a tool like JUnit, TestNG. For .NET environment, again in that environment there is a unit testing tool called NUnit. Then for the JavaScript there are the tools the Jasmine framework is there for the JavaScript people, Python, PyUnit is there. So different environments have got different unit testing tools. So we are going to use TestNG for getting this unit test cases run and get the result. Okay, so let's understand how to integrate the TestNG first in our Maven project. So for that I have to again go to the mvnrepository.com, where the jar files of TestNG framework are released. So you will find different libraries, like Java based libraries you will find deployed over here on this mvnrepository.com, which is the centralized repository to put the Java libraries. So Maven, Gradle, Apache Arm, these kind of build tools can be configured to download the libraries from here. These libraries, like these groups like TestNG and all, they keep these libraries on their official website as well, but you cannot set any build tool, you cannot configure any build tool to download it from the from anybody's official website. So build tools can be configured to download the required libraries from artifact repositories like this. That's why these people also put their libraries onto this platform, so that the people wanting to get them downloaded with the help of some kind of a build tool, they would be able to do it. That's the reason why like these TestNG, Selenium and all these groups, like when they implement something, they put it over here as well. So TestNG. So TestNG framework for Java, and this is the version I want to use, say 7.3.0. So I will go inside this version. I will get the dependency tag for this here. So this is the dependency tag. I'm just copying it, and I am going to go to my projects POM XML now. So this is my project, the project directory, and I have the POM XML. POM XML is a project's definition file which defines the different dependencies of that project. It also defines the end-to-end build life cycle of that project. It implements it, actually, the end-to-end build life cycle of it. We will be talking about it in more detail afterwards, but let's see how to integrate the unit testing tool here. So I have to just put that dependency tag here, right? So dependency tag, I have put it here. And what is this scope? The scope is like, this is the dependency, like when Maven performs different life cycle phases like MVN compile. Once we are done with the development, we will say MVN compile, then we will say MVN test, then we will say MVN package. Now into this phase is where I need this particular library to be downloaded. Now if I just remove this scope phase and if I run the compile phase against my project, the dependency, considering Maven considers the dependencies by default to be required for the compilation of an application. So there are different kinds of dependencies, you can say compile time dependencies, runtime dependencies and test dependencies. So this is test dependency. When we will be doing unit testing, then we will be needing this TestNG framework or the jar files to be downloaded and to be connected to our class path. So scope defines when the particular library would be downloaded from the mvnrepository.com or any artifact repository, and when it is required to be added to the class path of the project. Otherwise, see, if you have multiple dependencies, compile time, runtime and test dependencies, and you don't need all of them to be like you are going to use one machine for the compilation, the other machine for testing, and then if you don't have this scope mentioned in the project's POM XML, then what will happen on the compilation machine, whenever the compilation would be done, unnecessarily this test dependency will also be downloaded there, where you are not going to do any unit testing on that. You have the different environment for the unit testing. There you will be running MVN test and getting the unit testing done. So there you want this particular library to be downloaded and getting it attached to the project. So that is what the scope is. So scope defines when the particular library would be bring in and add to the class path at which phase of the end-to-end build life cycle. But for now I'm just removing it and I'm just keeping it as is, like let it download at the time of compilation itself. So save. So I have got my TestNG dependency mentioned in my POM XML. Okay, so now what we will do, so the TestNG is integrated now. Now let's make use of it in our unit testing. So here now my TestNG framework is going to run these functions, okay, and like even the assertions will also be done. Okay, so here I will say @before class. So what is this? So my TestNG function TestNG framework understands when in a flow, when I'll execute the class in the flow, when should this be called? Okay, when should this be called out of the in the order, like I have the different functions written here, so in which order they should be called, right? So before class, why it is before class? Because I want my TestNG to call this very first, because this is dealing with creating an object of a class, the method from which I am testing in this test case class, right? So I need an object before without that I cannot do anything. That's why this has to be marked to be executed at start. And how can we mark? Using the annotation. These are called annotations. @ before class is an annotation which says that this function should be called from the by the TestNG at the start. When the TestNG will start executing this class, this is the method it should start with, executing the class, right? So that is before class. Now this contains the test case, so hence it would be marked with annotation @test. This contains again another test case, so @test. Now out of these two test cases, what do you think that which is the most important as far as the addition functionality goes? So let's say you say that okay, the addition should be working fine with the positive number. So that is one of the very important test case for us. So that has to be the priority 1. So you can mention the priority also. The priority is like in which order, like the test cases when they would be called, in which order they should be called. And then you can, while deciding on the priority set here, you can decide on it based on the importance of that particular test case for you, right? That way also you can decide the priority. It's all up to you, but the test cases would be called based on the priority you have mentioned. Priority equal to 2. Now when I want my TestNG to call this, I want it to be called at the end. Once all the test cases are done, execution. Now I am done with the calc object here. Now the calc object I am just using it to call that addition method and sending in the different arguments and all. So I am done with that. So I want it to be called at the end. So I will say after class. So after class is the method which gets called at the end by TestNG, right? So you can see here, like TestNG is managing the calling of this method based on the annotations. We just need to know the meanings of different annotations here. And one more very important point which I want is this res variable. You can see this res variable is receiving the output of every test case. Like I am calling addition with 100 to 100, it is returning me the result. The actual result is going to be here in the res, which we are going to assert. So here let's do an assertion. So there is a assert class available in TestNG library, and I want to assert equals. I want to check it, the equality of this, right? I want to check whether this res is equal to 30. So 30 is the expected result here, and in res I will be having my actual return from that function. So I'm checking what I'm doing, not 30, sorry, 300, because 100 and 200 addition 300, 300 is my expected. So what I'm doing actually is I'm sending in the to check that addition function working. I'm sending in the arguments and I'm getting the return, and I'm just asserting that return, right, with the expected value. Here also I will have my assertion, assert equals. Again I want to check for the equality. That need not be, you can check for inequality as well if that is the case. Okay, but here we need to check res is equal to 0. Now when we will run this, test class, what TestNG will do? TestNG will call the addition function with 100 to 100. We will get the return back. It will run this assertion, and based on the result of this assertion, pass or fail, if the res indeed equals to 300, then our comparison is passed. So my TestNG will mark this test case passed. If it fails, then it will mark it as failed. And in the report, the HTML report which we get, in that report we can see after the execution how many test cases got passed and how many got failed. Like that we will get the unit testing report. So this is how the TestNG can be integrated into the Maven project. Now In our next video we will see how to run it and how to get the result.